I think we could all use a little help with decluttering, organizing, and style. Today, I'd like to introduce Kalli Erwing, who's a professional organizer with Just Right Organizing. Kalli?
Hey guys, it's Kalli Erwing. I want to thank Todd Sylvia for asking me to share today. Thank you, Jack, for the introduction. Walking into a room full of people that I've never met except Danielle with Bella Milano can be really intimidating. And I am grateful to have my friend has been just so welcoming and so nice and friendly. So that's pretty awesome. So just to go ahead and get started, I did printed out a a nice little handout, just to keep myself organized, right? Because I'm kind of like a squirrel sometimes. I focus. My story is I have been a high school guidance counselor for 15 years. And I had a moment, a little over a year ago where I was helping a little girl. I was starting to get really worn down by the career in that profession. And I thought it was going to be my forever job. But I had a moment where this little girl needed help. And she saw me a lot. And I said, okay, just give me a second. She went and sat at the table at the table in my office. I get kind of emotional talking about this, but anyway, she sat at the table in my office and I went up to my computer and I started doing something like Chinese because I just didn't have the capacity to help her that day. So that was my moment where I said, you know what, Kalli, there's other things out there, you know, and there's other people who can fill this role. So I did a lot of soul searching and had a moment in my car, you know, when you ask for things, I feel like, you know, man, I believe a lot in that. And I just said, what is out there for me? And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I have been helping people declutter and organize my entire life. I could do that as a career. It's almost like I, you know, wouldn't even want to get paid for it. Like that's the goal, right? So it was just a little bit of a hope shot. So exactly a year ago, I took on my first paid gig organizing and just said to myself, you know, and my husband, because I have a family, I'm just going to try this out and see how it goes. And, you know, my business really, I actually couldn't take on as much as in 8 sessions as I, you know, wanted to, and as people were kind of asking for. And so in June of this past year, I went full-time with this job. So right after, I don't know, sometime in December, I went to my school board and my principal and said, you know what, I'm not gonna be able to do this anymore. I need to put in my resignation. And guess what? Guidance counselor right away, even though they're in really high demand right now. They put a guidance counselor right away. And that's what got me. So I think what I bring to the table for professional organizing is I'm a licensed political counselor. I don't practice as a counselor, but I'm also able to meet people where they're at because sometimes there's some anxiety that goes into decluttering. So I put the process on the sheet. It says declutter, organize, style. A lot of us do this naturally. Some of us it just doesn't come. It doesn't come as naturally to some of us. And then sometimes we're just in positions in life where it's really nice just to have that extra set of eyes, an extra set of hands, and then the synergy of 2 people working together towards a goal. So decluttering means taking everything out of the space that doesn't belong in the space. And a part of my services, I bring my board pickup truck, and it's pretty rare. Almost every session I have, I leave with a truck full of donations and or trash, or mostly trash or mostly donations. Because a lot of times people reach out to me to come help with the space. They're really ready to declutter. Especially right now is garages, basements. I love home offices. I love business offices. So those are just some of the visuals. Laundry rooms, that seems to be a bigger space that people want help with. Benefits of professional organizing. So, give my basement, for instance, even though, you know, I don't have to go down there so often, when it's a mess, I know it's a mess in my head. And when it takes me a minute to go find something, it's kind of like weighs on me a little bit, even if I don't know what it is. And you know it's weighing on you when you're devoted to comfort, you get everything out, go back what you need, actually, get the follow through to take the donations, take the trash. It feels so good. It's such a feeling of relief. So by the time people get to me, it's normally when a lot of people set a time frame for themselves. They'll say, all right, I'm gonna get to this basement by this date. I'm gonna get to this garage by this date. And sometimes it just doesn't happen because I feel like life nowadays, especially the way our culture is, and the way we kind of pack things full, it's really hard, you know, say decluttering something, there's more, it's on your to-do list. It's hard to keep it on the top of the list. It's hard to keep it on the top of the list. So what I'm here for is if you have space, so whether it's the closet, whether it's an entire garage, an entire basement, pantries, I've done almost any space I can think of in a home. But those are the most common ones, I would say. But if you or somebody you know has a space that's just like a really renting space in your head for clutter, not being able to find things. So one of my examples is last time I cleaned out my own pantry, which is just a cute little pantry. I found 3 containers of bay leaves. You know how often you use bay leaves? Like I really only use it when I make certain soups. Why? Containers of bay leaves? Because it wasn't a place for bay leaves, you know, it's wherever. And but it wasn't easily accessible to where I just couldn't find more. So I'm also guilty of that. I'm not perfect, and I am not, even in my own home, I'm the perfect organizer. But there's something about going in with other people, right? Let's see what else. I want to just read a couple of reviews. This bottom review says, happy clients. This woman said, my garage has been plaguing me for years. I walked through it a million times, always looking to get to organizing it, and never started because it felt so overwhelming. She helped me sort and organize and get rid of things, so now it feels good to walk. So this was a 3-car garage, a busy mama going through the course. And this garage, you know, there's lots of little things in there, but it was also, you know, for life, she knew that, you know, her and her husband were separated. And 3/4 of the things that we were going through, you know, were related to him. And we had to make the decision, does it make more sense, you know, with her daughter? Does it make more sense to go with him? So it's a pretty emotional process. We did 2 different garage sessions. And by the end of it, it looked awesome, and there's a place for everything, and you know, everything's labeled. Well, another thing too, there's all different, I guess, different style personalities for organizing. I don't know if you're familiar with Marie Kondo. She talks about like emotional significance to things and being able to let things go, which is good stuff. So the way I kind of apply that, I was working with a woman in her master closet, and I pulled up every single item. And I took 9 trash bags donations after that session. So if you can imagine how she felt, like you could just feel, I mean, she was ready for sure. It was like a lot of decision fatigue. That's why I only do 3, 4, maybe 5-hour sessions. She was drained by the end of it, but she was also just so relieved to be able to walk in her closet and only have what she wants and what she likes. So that's a pretty extreme example. She was ready. My other happy client example says, I couldn't have gotten her 100 order without Kalli. She has both organization skills and people skills. So I felt really comfortable with her helping me sort the space, and no pressure or judgment about what I can or what I think keep in the room. So when people think of professional organizing, they think that we are here to make you get rid of everything. That's not how I operate. I don't think other organizers do either. But some people just kind of have that misconception in their head. And I didn't try to suggest reorganizing because I want to meet people where they're at. If they want to keep the middle things, maybe let's work on tearing down a little bit. You know, I was trying to lean towards if you're in doubt, what you think that I don't want to get blamed a year later when you're looking for something. They're really opportunity to get rid of. But that's what I myself do. Okay, so my next kind of clients, I'll go ahead and end with that. Let's see. Oh, that's her. So I just want to take a picture of this one real quick, that laundry room bedroom. The reason why this space was getting so tricky was it was a cute laundry room, like could be a magazine, but it was a laundry room and it led to a pantry, and it led to the back door, and it led to the basement door, and there's a sink in there, and it serves so many purposes. So she really just needed an outsider to come in and say, what do you want this room to be? And what's your, what are your priorities? And it was a 3-hour session. We had it looks beautiful. So I thank you guys for having me. I think we open it up to questions, right? Okay, thanks. Yeah. Okay. I have, yeah, I actually work with a woman who struggles with hoarding. I've heard there's 5 different levels. It's something I do want to maybe do some more training in. It's definitely not my niche. Like I only have the capacity for so many of those like types of scenarios. But so I went with that. With that situation, I go there once a month, and we just really don't get rid of things. It's more kind of we're really more in the steps of letting someone in. Like that was a huge step, letting someone in, because people aren't allowed in the home. So me being able to go in there and then just walking through, going through things. So we've recycled and we have thrown away some things. I shouldn't say that. I just have to take truck loads of donations like I normally do. So yeah, it's definitely a psychological thing. But I've seen so much progress. Remember you talked about like baby steps? Yeah, it's like that. Like I'm like Richard Driver. No, not really, but like we gotta pace ourselves and just meet her where she's at. Because that's why I named, my business this. So yeah. Yeah, so in one service that I offer is like a custom recommendation, which is like a post session where I sit down on my computer and I do all the research on things like that. So I, jump on eBay, but just get some of the footwork out of the way so it's way less for them to do. Yeah, I haven't had to do that yet though. Bring you better. So we have one back there, one here. Sorry.
Yes. Getting organized, like I guess that makes sense. And I have to reorganize like what are big practice?
Who we have? Yeah, kids.
Stay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. You have to figure out what your flow is. So, like I was talking to someone, and I think it was Doug, right? Doug was talking about, you hear my this? He wants things accessible super quickly. And there's a term for that. Of course, I can't think of it, but he wants it right there. And other people, they want it tucked away. So I think if things aren't able to stay the way that you wanted them to, there might be something wrong off with the process. Me, for instance, I'm like, I need things accessible. I don't want to have to unlock each side of the tote, lift up the lid to get to something, gift wrapping, tissue paper in my gift bags, take off a box to get there. Like I can't. So now I just have them in an open bin, so it's almost like you gotta kind of like think to yourself, why am I not putting it back? What's my boundary, my roadblock? What can I do to kind of fix it? And you might just have a different style than what you thought. So, and I actually chat anytime too. Just pick your brain. Yeah.
You have organized your client grid where you can tell people what to see. You say this because then I would
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's, okay, guys, so I've gone this long and I haven't had a contract, I know that's really stupid. But I met Amy Hunter with Sylvia Long. I met her and said, do they do contracts, because I need one, I just been putting it off. And she said, yeah, they do. Next week, maybe I got bit by a dog in the face, by a mastiff. Huge dog, but oh, I'm in her space. She growled at me. She should be in another room. And so now it's in my contract. But anyway, yeah, that is in my contract confidentiality. Yeah, because there's, yeah, and the same with me. I actually hired one of my friends 3 years ago. I just had a baby. I had a 2-year-old, a 3-month-old now in my basement. And that's another reason why it inspired me to open this business is what she did to me. I had my girlfriend who was very like-minded, you know, but just outside perspective, I had her come over, went through everything in my basement and the relief that it took off my shoulders. But that was one of my things is what if she's, you know, like, I don't know, just like a love letter to third grade or something weird like that.
That's all
That was the most PC like, love letter. I don't know. We won't go into that. We have any yeah, I worked at one job and that was just animal fees. Yeah, I don't mind spiders, you know, mice, rabbits, whatever, like that's not a big deal to me, but I had to draw the line on that one. That was another, didn't have the contract, didn't have the deposit. You know, so I spent what was supposed to be 3 or 4 hours, got there, had to turn around and leave and give some suggestions on cleanup. But sometimes that's just how people live, so now that's my contract. I don't hear anything hard about. Yeah.
So you actually lifting yourself?
Lifting, yeah, so I lift weights, I try to lift weights 3 days a week so that I can stay strong, and then garages and sometimes basements I'll have an assistant with me. Yeah, sometimes I'll think I'm vulnerable now. Yes, pricing, I just changed the package pricing. Let's see, services. So I started off with the biggest one, 2 to 4 spaces, 90-day project life cycle. Then there's the revamp, 60-day project life cycle, prep. And I got, when I first kind of getting into this whole packaging versus hourly, a lot of organizers I had seen said 1 to 2 spaces, 1 to 2 spaces, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm so black and white. I just want to do 1 space. 1 space all goes over into another space. So at least I'm not leaving someone high and dry. You know, say I come into a garage, or even just a kitchen, and you have to fix things to the basement, you have to make things storage. At least I can kind of help with that process too, and not just clearing one thing out, and then there's almost always that ripple effect. So.
Usually have limited other product.
Not really, you know, a lot of people, so that's what we do in the end. You know, a lot of people want to buy the bits up front, and to be honest, I'm always pretty shocked. Like a lot of people just have things to clear out. Like they have extra, we clear out so many totes in this process that you end up having more. So, but I have that custom recommendation product list. I would go through, you know, and check mentions and send, we'll ask you, I normally ask people, do you like wicker, do you like clear, do you like plastic, do you like white, black, whatever, and send you recommendations based on like what your taste is, what your preference is. Yeah.
So, I'm just curious, you might have already said it, I don't, but like say you comment something garage or something for, kind of fairly garbage, like just junk, trash, just like a trailer. Is that correct?
So let's see. So we'll talk about the refresher. When I think about a garage, normally they take the garage was there for 4 hours and we mapped it out in 4 hours, 2 people. But it wasn't. They only had so much to get rid of. They only had a truckload, maybe 2 truckloads to get rid of. Yeah. So garages normally Normally, I mean, I wanna see some pictures first, you know, whether or not you can see the floor, situations like that, but a lot of times, like a 2-car garage is. Anywhere from 1 5-hour session with 2 people to 2 5-hour sessions with 2 people. So. Oh, yeah.
Storage system. Strategy stuff, too, like cable stuff.
No, not yet. That's part of that customer recommendation. I had a client who won, I put a gift card in for a local charity. And she wrote me and said, here's pictures of my garage, here's what I'm gonna picture in, and I just jumped on my computer, I jumped on, I'm a member of all these different organizing groups, I have access to like 20,000 organizers at a time. So I just go in all these groups and I search, and reviews, and I just do forward to, so it's one less thing for you to have to do, yeah. Yeah. So that means that our goal is to, so say you want to sign up for the revamp, and we're doing the 2 to 3 spaces, we want to get it done within 2 months. So we're not dragging it out. And then I leave space on my calendar for that, so we'll know if I have harmony revamps going on, I can only take that many clients at a time. Yeah. You don't want to do, yeah, you don't want to cram it in, and you also want to leave spaces between the rooms too. Like I have a lot of clients who are monthly clients, and you know, sometimes they'll do every other week, just pop through and get some things done, and then they take a break. Because you need a break. It's really mentally, it takes a toll mentally. Yeah.
What are a lot of things like, whatever you say, like home offices, stuff like that, what are things that you invite for holding on to, they don't need to be?
Home offices. Well, yeah, our shift to everything digital, so there's just so much paperwork. I mean, I would say like pay stubs and maybe some things that were, you thought you could look back on, the taxes, 7 years, I feel like I should know that, but, just the paper, it seems like really the paper. And if you're like me, office supplies too. Too many. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of organizers, they ask, and I try to find ways to make sure everyone's on board in the home, but a lot people touch the house. And I do have a regular client that her and her husband just not when something's gonna change. I mean, you can't blame him. He wants to keep everything, she wants to get rid of everything. So there's kind of like a happy middle ground. But yeah, it doesn't happen that often though. Normally, it seems like there's something about men are a little bit more resistant to accepting the help of paying for the service. I don't know what it is. My husband was too. But then they're like, I had a husband, and he owns a business. They're just really busy people. And at the end of it, I saw him on my street like a couple weeks later, and I said, "Hey, how's everything looking? How's everything going?" He's like, "I want you back for a whole house." That's how happy he was with that basement transformation. I was like, "Yeah, okay, good." But he was not up for the beginning.
I'll put myself out there, it's kind of a.
Yeah.
Not, wife had a handy hand, goes to actually a handy lady, and so she would always. They're not going to change, no one, I can do that.
I know. That's, thank you. That, I think that is, because I do everything yourselves. Yeah, exactly. All right.
Funny, cigarro, you like it?